Hey everyone, and welcome to this discussion video. And today we're going to talk about Clan of Saar. But we are not in my living room as we usually are. Instead, well, Toft, where are we?
We are in the real gaming cave.
The real one. This is the one where I played Twilight Imperium for the very first time. So let's go inside and have a look.
Yeah. Come along.
Clan of Saar. So we have a few topics we want to go through, and the first one is what to accomplish in round one. And I believe that the Clan of Saar is a pretty flexible faction, so I have prepared 3 different scenarios for what to accomplish in round one. But I'm of course very curious to hear what you think they should do.
Yeah.
So, but let's get rid of this green screen. So. That should be so much better. So, Toft, what do you think? What should Clan of Saar try to accomplish?
I think they should get their second space dock out in the first round, and that's a primary for me. They have 3C, 4I, meaning they have 3 ships with capacity, the space dock and 2 carriers, and they have 4 infantry. So they will get their systems next to their home planets, and they are not dependent by any other races or technology cards. So my primary thing is to get the second space dock out, and that can be accomplished either through construction secondary or construction primary, and then build as much plastic as possible. Tech is not a priority for me in the first round.
No.
So,
yeah.
I'm interested to hear 3 different.
Yes. Yeah, I have 3 different, but one of them is the exact same as you mentioned. Yeah. So that could also be a priority to get that second space dock out. That's definitely one of the scenarios. And if we can't get construction ourselves, then we could go for warfare, and then because we have that, all those ships with capacity and 4 infantry, and we can produce on the space docks after we have moved, then with the warfare card we could unlock that system and then move once more. And because we have this faction ability where we gain trade goods whenever we gain control of more planets, then I think we can easily fill out our slice with the warfare card pretty much in round 1. And also produce enough units to actually protect it, so we're not that spread out thinly. So that could be option number 2 in round 1. And do you have any comments to that one?
Nope. I also think that warfare is an interesting pick, but I think I will cover that when we talk about the strategy cards.
Yes, let's do that. Then the third one, that could be, and I think that's very dependent on the map, on the galaxy. If you have any asteroid fields in your slice, which I hope you have, then we could go for chaos mapping, the faction technology, and already park a space dock in there, and then we can start building up one of the Saar balls in that asteroid field already from round 1. But I think that's very situational and dependent on that current game.
Yeah. I agree that we should get into the asteroid field sometime in the game, but I don't think it's a round 1 strategy for me.
No.
We are not. We should not be threatened already in round 1. We shouldn't be threatened at all, I think, as a Clan of Saar, and we will cover that later. But it's not a round 1 scenario for me to park a space dock already. It should be out there building units in the front line. Not a round 1 strategy for me.
No. I was thinking something. Yeah, and that is that if we get that second space dock out already in round 1, then probably we could spare one of them to park that in an asteroid field for later use. But I agree, it doesn't have to be in round 1. I just had a game a few months back where I did it way too late. And all of a sudden there were PDS-2s protecting that asteroid field where I wanted to park it. So if I activated that asteroid field, then I think it was 7 or 8 PDS shots I would have to survive just to get into the asteroid field, and then that was just way too late in the game. So I could be affected by that.
Yeah, and that's something you have to consider. Either if it's a second round or third round or first round, if the asteroid field is close to Clan of Titans of Ul or any other PDS2 faction, then you might not be parking in that asteroid field. Yeah,
it was definitely closed for me, but it was also the equidistant system between 2 other neighbors, but I think it was the one with the a-hole in it. So that was the entrance in between their slices. So of course they wanted to protect their slices from me getting in there. That was a fun game. A little frustrating, but that's how it is. Yeah. Anything else they should accomplish in round 1?
Nope. It's a strong faction. It's a strong faction, and they can only have a good round 1.
Yeah, they have the starting units they need. They have the resources they need. So I guess we can just focus on getting even better. We don't have any immediate problems we need to solve in round 1. We can just start expanding and grow our economy. Yeah. So I agree, it's a strong faction. But I also think that is one of the reasons why at least experienced players know that Clan of Saar has to be watched during the game and make sure that they don't get too strong too early.
Yeah.
If you don't already own the game and the Prophecy of Kings expansion, then you can buy one or both of them through the affiliate links in the video description below. I will get a small commission for it, and you will support the channel. So thank you if you do. Next up, let's talk about the strategy cards that we think can support what we want to accomplish in round 1.
Yeah.
So what do you think of leadership?
I think that leadership is a good pick in the first round. We would love to have those extra command tokens for the flexibility for the strategy cards, and also we throughout the game can use the command counters to the bigger fleet, to the Saar ball, which we will cover later. So I think leadership is a good pick in the first round.
I agree. I couldn't add anything, so I don't want to. Nope.
The very interesting card, diplomacy.
Diplomacy? Nope. No reason at all. I think we have 2 home planets, 2 resources and 1 influence, and 1 resource and 2 influence, as far as I remember. So we don't really get anything from diplomacy. When it comes to our own home planet, then we need something like a cone and the other one with 2 resources, 3 influence, that system that has 2 of those planets, before it could become relevant. But I wouldn't go for it.
Me neither, and the reason that I wouldn't go for it is because we move our space docks. So when we move the space dock, it is activated, so it is difficult for us to use the resources from diplomacy other than on a public objective or tech, because if we unexhaust 2 planets, our space dock is locked, so we can't build with them. So it limits our value from those planets compared to other races which have who have their space dock in their home system to build on. So I think diplomacy is far down the line compared to other races, because our space dock is on the get-go.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think of that. I was just dreaming up a scenario because Clan of Saar can take Megator Rex in the first round, but then they cannot pick diplomacy themselves because I think they need warfare to do that. But can come into that later. And then we could potentially get those 6 influence to land on Megaton Rex with diplomacy.
Yeah.
But that would have to be the secondary, so no diplomacy for ourselves here.
No.
Then we have politics.
Yeah. Politics is not a top pick, but could be a pick if Megaton Rex is not unoccupied in the second round, then we could go for it there. But yeah, as you mentioned, it could be that we could take it in the first round. But if the board is that we could potentially take it in the second round, so yeah, politics is a fine choice. We are not scared of getting spread out because we don't need our home system to score public objectives. So we could easily move our space dock and most of our fleet into Megaton Rex as the first thing in the second round. So yeah, politics could be a fine choice in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be my fourth choice. I think there are 3 other strategy cards I would get before politics. But then if I don't get any of those, then I could go for politics and then get a better strategy card in round 2.
And Megaton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Construction.
Yes, we want that second space dock out. So we don't really need the PDS if we do construction ourselves as the primary. But if no one else takes construction, then I think we should go for construction so we can get that space dock out.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone else takes it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. As you mentioned, we don't need the PDS, but yeah, if we can see the board don't want to take it, sometimes I have experienced that no one takes construction if Saar is there to force kind of Saar to take it themselves.
Yeah.
So it could very well be that you have to take it yourself, but I would much rather have it on secondary.
Yeah. But then we can play that card as our first one, and then
Yeah.
at least half the table will be stalled out of doing the secondary of warfare.
Exactly. So not a bad pick at all.
No.
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Trade.
We don't really need trade. I mean, trade is always a good, strong card because we can always use the trade goods, but we do get trade goods from the scavenge faction ability. So, yeah, it's not my preferred card, but it's up there with the leadership. You can always use the command tokens, you can always use the trade goods, but it wouldn't be my first pick.
No. Yeah, if not for construction, then I think that trade is almost a top pick for me. It could very well be, yeah. As you mentioned, we get the trade goods from the planets, but that, yeah, we need the trade goods to build and build and build. So yeah, trade is a top pick for me.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, a top 2 pick, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'll have it around. Oh, yeah, we can take that later.
Take that later. yeah, but it's a good card. It's a good card.
Yes.
We have 3 commodities, and yeah, I think we cover that later. But it's not always that the other players want to trade with you. But if you have the trade card, then they probably will.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Everyone gets greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warfare.
I think that is one of the better picks, in my opinion. We will need command tokens, and I think we will also need, we want to be able to unlock the system that we have flown our space dock into, so we can move, so we can first produce after the first tactical action, then we can unlock the system. Grab a planet as the first tactical action, and then produce some units there, and then we could use warfare to unlock it, and then move the space dock once more, and then of course we need trade goods to produce even more units a second time during the first round. So I think warfare is a strong pick to get a lot of your slice in the first round.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and no, we will take that afterwards when we talk about getting strategy cards later in the game. Yes. So technology.
Not a top pick for me. I don't think that you need that many techs for Clan of Saar to be a good race. So I don't care if I get a tick in the first round. So not a top pick for me.
No, I think it's a good card. Sarween Tools. I mean, if someone can use Sarween Tools, then it's Clan of Saar. I mean, every single time we move a space dock, we can get that discount. So for them. So if we have a bad economy, maybe we've got very few resources in our slice, then maybe go for Sarween Tools as one of the first things you do before you move out your space dock, so you get that discount from the very first time. That I think that could be useful. But yeah.
So is Tech
It's not a top pick, no.
No. Yeah.
But I think it's a good. I still think it's a good pick, equal to leadership, for instance. If you have a bad economy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see how we prioritize the strategy cards in the first round.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Imperial as the last one.
Yeah, not a top pick, but yeah, I would take it before Diplomacy, but they will still be Diplomacy and Imperial in the first round, who is left behind for me as Clan of Saar.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, so it has to be a 7 or 8 player game before you would pick any of those. Yeah. Well, we can do the ranking now.
Yeah.
Or we can talk about what strategy cards to get later during the game.
Yeah. Let's do the ranking.
The ranking,
yeah.
Yes. Well, I think Warfare is my top pick.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't do the ranking in advance here. I think both. I like your argument about trade. Actually, I moved that up the list, so that could be my second pick, and then technology as my third one, politics as the fourth, something like that. Now I also want leadership. Can I get 2?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't prepared my ranking, to be honest. So
no.
but those that I mentioned 4 or 5 cards here are definitely the ones I would go for. But that's also almost all of them.
Yeah. So we don't agree here. I have construction as my first pick if I see that no one else takes it.
Yes.
So that would be my first pick if no one else takes it, and then I have trade and leadership as a. Yeah, if we take construction out, then trade and leadership will be my top picks. Yeah, leadership the tokens, we can always use them, and we don't have any holes in the ship we need to fill out, I think, in the first round. So leadership, tokens, and trade, we need the money. We want the money. And then I would take politics as a third pick to if I could get Megatol. And then after that I would have warfare. I can. It's very good to fill your slice out, and we get the trade goods for the planets, so we could get 5 or 6 trade goods in the first round just for taking planets, which we could use to build up units, and that's very, very good. But yeah, it's a fourth pick or something for me, and then technology as the 6th, 5 or 6th pick. So warfare. It is mighty fine, and Clan of Saar is not worried about the home slice, so they can spread out. But yeah, not a top for me. No.
All right. Well, let's talk about the upcoming rounds. What are our preferred strategy cards there?
In my opinion, leadership and trade. We should use the most of our economy on building units, and we should use a lot of tokens in our fleet pool to build up our Saar ball. I think they go hand in hand. Unless there comes some public objectives out, then you, of course, take the trade or construction or something like that. But initially leadership and trade would be my top picks for later rounds.
Yeah. I would also go for warfare, so we can move the Saar ball and even make it bigger during the game round, so we can move one of the space dogs twice in the same game round, I think. But I guess it depends very much on what objectives are out there. So if we need to grab some planets from somebody else, then warfare is an obvious choice in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you're right. We need the resources to produce those extra ships and infantry.
Yeah.
Don't forget infantry.
Don't forget it. I think we might cover something about this in the strength and weaknesses. I have another opinion about the warfare card.
Yes.
For the later rounds, I don't think we should be an aggressive race. So I think warfare is obvious to be utterly aggressive, and I don't think that Saar should be that, even though they can be. So I don't think warfare is a pick. We have the flexibility. If we have 2 Saar balls, that should be enough for a round to move those around if need be. So yeah. But I think we come into that later in strength and weaknesses, or how to win, or something like that.
Yeah. Let's take it there then. All right. Anything else about the strategy cards for now?
No.
All right. Well, then I think we should move into strengths and weaknesses. Should we take one strength each or something?
Let's try it.
We can try it out and see how it works.
Yeah. I think I would start with that. I don't think Saar really has any weaknesses.
No.
It's really hard for me to see any weaknesses.
Yeah.
We could just try to stamp something out of the ground, but no, not any real weaknesses compared to any other races. So that's a real strength. Yeah, I agree. The weaknesses I have mentioned are actually just abilities that I find is weaker for the clan of Saar compared to some of their other abilities. So yeah. It's not really a weakness. No, it's not really a weakness. No. But yeah, primary strength, I take 2. Sorry, Asa. That's fine. As the only race, they don't need to control the planets in the home system to score public objectives, so they can just leave it or say whatever. It's of course resources, but hey, you can't block them out of scoring public objectives. No. And the other thing is that the space dogs can move, so they can always produce units out in the front line. So they don't need to produce at home and then move them out. They produce on the get-go. So 2 awesome strength. Yeah. Really, really awesome strength. Yeah. And that makes them so much fun to play. I mean, having this ability. Yeah, and the third one for me is the chaos mapping faction technology. Yeah. So we can move those at least one of those space dogs into an asteroid field, and then the other players can't do anything about it. That is also an interesting part. The check is that if you have a ship as Clan of Saar in an asteroid field, the other players can activate it. Yes. So yeah, if you stand there with your space dog and a ship, then they can activate. They can of course shoot with their PDS-2 if you activate it yourself, but if you just stand there with a space dog and a destroyer, then they can't eliminate you, and thereby you can always score points. So a fantastic tech, and you can also produce a ship at the start of your turn with the tech. But yeah, we cover that later. Yeah, I think, but yeah, an awesome tech also. Yeah, it is. I think it's one of the most powerful techs in the game. I think it's up there. Yeah. It's so modern. Their strength it could also be their weakness, because they can move and they get trade goods from taking planets. Then it is tempting to just fly around and grab other players' planets just because you can. You could, that's a carrier and just a few ground forces. Let's eat it. take the planet, you get the trade goods, you build, and then the player can't do anything about you. You could get a lot of, if you go that way, you could get a lot of enemies, and for what? If you don't score points by hurting another player's slice bad, then you could get the table, all the table against you. So that is that could be a weakness. You have to control yourself. I think just don't go gun ho and just eat everything you want. You could for a starter, but it won't win you the game.
No,
I think so. Yeah. You have to behave, I think.
Control the power.
Control your power. Yeah, even though it is so tempting.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big weakness. That's a weakness.
Yeah.
It's not a big one.
But but it's not really the faction. It's more about the player being able to control themselves and not destroy somebody else. Just Then that's really a competitive game if you start doing that. I guess. Yeah. Well, as weaknesses, I mentioned the commander. It's not really a weakness, but I just think it's a little boring. So you are able to, whenever you produce fighters and infantry, then you can place them on either of your, hopefully, 3 space docks.
Yeah.
Yes, it gives some flexibility, but I don't think it's not game changing in any way.
Nope. It is not.
And then,
if you have your space dock in the asteroid field and there's no PDSs, then if you activate there and you just build infantry and fighters, then you could place them somewhere else because they can't take your space dock out in the asteroid field.
Yeah.
So, and you could, flexibility, but not a game-winning one. They are strong enough.
Yeah. They don't need that. I really like the scavenge faction ability, so you gain 1 trade good every time you gain control of a planet. But in relation to what you just mentioned about power, then it's super helpful in the beginning of the game, and then it just becomes more and more irrelevant during the game. But it is definitely a strong faction ability to have, but I just think it fades out during the game.
Of course, but as you mentioned, you get a really good punch in the first round. If you take 4 planets, then you have 4 resources and you don't extra resources, and you don't even have to take diplomacy. And if you get the warfare card, you 5 or 6 extra resources just to. I think you should use them to build plastic, and then you already have a big fleet out in the front line. So you could destroy another player, or you protect yourself to the coming round. So it's really, really good in the first round. You get much ahead of almost any other races.
And then also in relation to that, then we can deploy our mechs. So whenever we gain control of a planet, then we gain a trade good from the scavenge ability, but then we could spend a trade good to get our mechs out. And of course, it's good to be able to deploy it on the front line. I'm just not sure I would use that ability. I think I would prefer to produce more ships over mechs early on in the game, in round 1, for instance. I think I would save those trade goods for something else.
I see your point. I really see your point. It's just tempting to get the mechs half price.
It is.
It's half price. You could also have to use your trade goods to score public objectives. Just for that, you could you get the trade goods even though other players won't trade with you. You could just say, then I have to take some of your planets to get those trade goods to a public objective. So I wouldn't build my 4 mechs on the first 4 planets, but I hopefully build my mechs taking planets just because they're half price.
And I guess I could also use them maybe once or twice just to get 1 mech out, because then we have 1 more ground force that we can gain control of another planet with. But that would be the reason. Those were my notes about strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, you mentioned the commander as a weakness. I also think we could mention the hero now.
Yes.
I don't think that the hero is something that win you the game. The hero is that you could destroy infantry, all the fighters and infantry in a system adjacent to a space dock. If you play against Lysics, for instance, they might not have any fighters, and then you kill all the infantry, and so what? You still have to eliminate a fleet with 4 dreadnoughts or something like that, and if you can't take that out, then it doesn't matter if there's no infantry on the planet. So
it should be against Albeck or Federation of Sol or something.
Yeah,
really
Nalu, so it's
Nalu,
very situational, and it's not, in my opinion, a game-winning hero like what have you said, Excha, Winu. Windows is a good, really a game-winning hero.
Yeah.
So this hero would not rank very high if we ever do a heroes ranking.
True.
So,
but I think it's fair. So we are balancing the faction a little bit because they are so strong in other ways. So
of course. So it's just and the agent, a good agent. It's a fun agent.
And it helps in round 1, right? So we can get, for instance, the space dock 2 systems away from our home system if we want to.
Yeah, and I think it will help us in all the later rounds also. We'll cover that later. I think with tech or something like that. So yeah, it's a good agent.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's usable every round. So in that way, I think it's a good agent.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking, and I think it is also easy to sell it in case we don't need it for ourselves. Then I guess we could sell it as a service to some other player as well.
Yeah. In my experience in our play group, I very rarely see any players sell their agent ability. It's almost every time the players use the agent's ability for themselves, or it's not sellable. It could be.
Okay, it could be attractive for some other player. But as you mentioned, I think that other player have to suggest it themselves and say, "Oh, can I use your agent in this round?" It's not top of mind.
It's not a common thing in our play group.
No, not at all.
I would say no.
All right. That was it for strengths and weaknesses. So in the next segment, we will talk about what technology to get. Like we don't always agree with strategy cards, then we don't always agree with technology either.
No.
But that's the interesting part. So
it is a discussion.
It is a discussion. So let's discuss technology. Yeah.
I start, or do you?
I'll let you start this time.
Oh, thank you, Issa.
Yeah.
3 techs.
Yes.
That's all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's stop now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You start with Antimars, then I think you should get Chaos Mapping, Blue Tech, Gravity Drive, Carrier 2.
Yes.
And then I think Clan of Saar is ready to go. If there come tech or public objectives are out about tech or something like that, then of course you need to check more. But I think these 3 techs should win you the game, and then use your resources on building a ton shit of infantry, fighters, whatever, plastic.
Yeah. You wouldn't even go for Sarween tools?
No.
That's 2 free infantry or fighters every time you move a space dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think you move your space docks every time.
No.
But yeah, I think we come into that Yeah, as we talked about in the strengths and weaknesses, the thing about moving your space dock around, should you just move them in your own slice? I don't see why. Should you go into other person's slice all the time? I really don't see why.
No.
So I don't think that you get to activate a lot of your space docks every time. So and you get the trade goods. You might have a lot of planets. Yeah, I don't think that Sarween is an obvious choice anymore.
No.
And it costs you 4 resources on the secondary, right? So yeah, you could build a lot of and a token, right? Yeah. So you could build a lot of units for those 4 resources.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
Yeah. No, I'm fairly sure I would get the Sarween tools. Also because I agree with the blue text that you mentioned, chaos mapping and gravity drive. But then having one yellow technology would also open up for Dreadnought 2.
Of course.
And I think having a fleet that has movement 2 gives a lot of flexibility. So if we have the carrier 2, as you mentioned, I agree with that one as well. And then Dreadnought 2 also got movement 2, and then we can use our agent to give our space dock movement 2 as well. And then we have a lot of flexibility to move that Saar ball around.
But if you take, so you don't want to go for gravity drive?
That could of course be an alternative to
Because I think the agent and gravity drive could move the 2 space dock if you have them in the Saar ball.
Yes.
And then the carrier 2, and then you have 2 movement on the whole thing.
Yeah, on cruisers and destroyers.
Yeah, cruisers and destroyers also. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's also a good point. Having the combination of the agent and gravity drive. And then move both of the space docks. Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. And if it is a tech-heavy game, I was thinking about Dark Energy Tap. If there were multiple asteroid fields we could park in, and then we could explore those frontier tokens now that we are there. But I think that's more like icing on the cake, not something we really need.
No. What do you think about if the public comes out 2 in 2 colors, 2 texts in 2 colors? What color would you go for then?
That's a good question. So it could either be yellow or green as alternative, in my opinion. Blue is obvious because we already got those 2. Because I mentioned Fighter 2 here, and then we would need a green technology, so that could be neural if we wanted to. Again, I think Fighter 2 is icing on the cake, but that could speak for getting into the green tech tree. But I think I would prioritize Sarween over one. Yeah, I don't know. That's
but if you have to go for 2 in 2 colors, so you could just you can't stop with Sarween.
No. Then I would get the Scanlink probably as the second yellow one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I haven't considered that because I agree. I don't think Clan of Saar need that much technology. So yeah.
But I would go green.
You would go green?
Yeah.
Yes.
If that comes up, I would go green. No motivator. We could always use the action cards if we get the heat. We should get a lot of heat in the late game. We should be a contender, a strong contender for the win. So have a big action card hand is always good. And then psychoarchaeology, the thing you can make tech planets to trade goods. Yeah. Isn't that so?
Yeah. And you can spend.
Yeah, you can flip the tech specialty planets to get a trade good, so you could also boost your economy there. So I would definitely go for green if that, and thereby also unlocking Fighter 2.
Yeah.
You should have a big fighter screen, I think, with Clan of Saar.
Yeah.
So Fighter 2 is an obvious choice there.
Yeah.
So just the 2 blue and carrier 2, and 2 and 2 comes up, I would go green. But not a lot of ticks, I think, to get Clan of Saar going.
No, they don't really need it, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah. I don't have any other text on my list here.
Nope.
Do you have anything you would like to add?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, let's move on to...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for Space Dock 2.
Good points.
There's faction ability, the faction tech Space Dock 2, there's Space Dock 1, capacity 4, production 5.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and Space Dock 2 can now move 2, and they have production 7 and capacity 5. And I wouldn't go for it. It's too deep in yellow, but yeah, you might go for it.
No, it's not here.
No, I wouldn't go for it. You can give your Space Dock the movement 2 with your agent and with gravity drive, and if you place 2 Space Docks together, then I think you have enough production and capacity. So I wouldn't go for it. Unless the secret objective with 2 faction techs and I can't get rid of it. So,
and I like the combination of having 2 Space Docks in the same system, because as far as I remember, you may have to correct me, then the Space Docks doesn't count towards the fleet supply.
No.
So we don't even have to allocate even more tokens in there if we if we have both of them. Yeah, so that's a good point.
It behaves like a ship, but isn't a ship. So you can use gravity drive, flying speed. It has to roll out of a rift, but it's not a ship. And now we are there. Then if you move a Space Dock with infantry into a system only with PDSs, then the PDS can't shoot, and then you can just drop your infantry down and hopefully take the planet. So the alone Space Dock doesn't activate the PDS. I have once made a great move with that because the opponent didn't realize that he couldn't shoot at my Space Dock, so he had left the space open. Then I moved into the heart of his slice with just a Space Dock and a shitload of infantry, and then I took the planets and built ships afterwards.
Yes, and then it's too late for PDS fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sneaky move.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Now I don't have anything more.
Cool. Then let's move on to how to win with Clan of Saar. So the final topic is how to win as the Clan of Saar. And I can reveal that I have only written 2 words in my notebook, but I've
awesome words.
Awesome words, and the combination makes it even more awesome. Yeah.
Let's hear those 2 words.
I have written brute force. Yeah. And I think, of course, it very much depends on what public objectives are out there. So when I say brute force, then I mean if there are any control objectives, then I think Clan of Saar is really, really good at scoring those. Simply by moving those Saar balls to wherever they need to be to score those control objectives. And besides that, then of course you need to prepare for any take objectives or spend objectives or whatever. But I don't think that's something special for the Clan of Saar. That's just something that is just good to do with whatever faction you play in that game. Yeah, it's actually this short. But I know Toft is a little more prepared than I am this time. So let's hear.
Yeah. Clan of Saar is a contender to win every game. This should be. You can't be locked out of scoring by getting your home system taken. So you should be a strong contender every time. There's almost not a single public objective Clan of Saar isn't capable of scoring. Structure objective is annoying. But besides that, they are as equally good to score public as any other race, and a lot stronger to the control stand in the different systems on the edge, empty or something like that. You just say, hey, I go here, and you go somewhere else. You have your big Saar ball, and then you can, as you said, brute force. You can't get locked out of those. So and there's almost not a secret objective objectives you can't score either. So you are very flexible in those also. So Clan of Saar should score point every round, and you shouldn't be afraid doing that. It's not a problem for you to is being in the lead. Don't get too much in the lead, then you will have the rest of the table against you. You might have that from the get-go, but it's not a problem for you to be on 4 points and all the others on 3 or something like that. And you shouldn't, be afraid scoring your points because you can't almost never being eliminated. So yeah, how to win? I think the focus should be to control yourself, control your brute force, use it, negotiate as you should with any race. Hey, I need that planet to score this objective. You can use it afterwards. Negotiate so you don't have to use your brute force. Then I think you will potentially lose if you get the table against you, if you just roll over an opponent just because you can, or if you don't negotiate with them. Build up your Saar balls and have them ready to go in the final rounds. It's there you secure your win. It's not in the first round, and if you have been aggressive, then they will try to punch you out so they don't get eaten by the Saar ball. All the 5 other players is nervous to get eaten by the Saar ball, so if they just say, hey, let's eliminate Saar, so it's not one of us gets eliminated by the Saar ball, then you're in big trouble. You're strong, but you can't defeat 5 races.
No.
So behave, score the objectives, negotiate with your opponents as you should always do, and then there shouldn't be any objectives you can't score. And then final round, go nuts. And with that, I think get the 3 space docks out. One in an asteroid field if it's in a proper place where you don't get shot down by a PDS-2, and then I would. If you have 2 space dock and a carrier in a system, then you have carrier 2. Then you have 14 capacity, 6 on the carrier 2, 8 on the 2 space docks. They can move 2 if you have gravity drive, and then with your agent. So you have a Saar ball there with the 14 in capacity. You have built up your fleet tokens. Then you have some destroyers or fighters. Destroyers and cruiser, and maybe a flagship. I think a flagship is really, really good. It rolls 2 and a 5, and then they have a very good anti-fighter barrage. So against fighters, really, really good, and not against fighters, it's just really good. 2 and a 5 is good. The best in the game. So that Saar ball, 14 capacity. I don't know, 6 fighters, 8 infantry or something like that. It should be able to do a lot of damage in the final rounds.
And even cheap. It's even a cheap fleet to have. So so it's definitely doable. So
build up your Saar ball in your own slice. Hopefully it would be my way, and don't get too aggressive, so the opponents don't attack you in every round until then. And then when your Saar ball is big enough, then they can't do so much about it.
And it's easy to get all those units. I mean, if you have 2 space docks in the same system with production 5 on each of them, you can produce 10 units with a single activation. That's
and you produce them in the front line.
Yes.
So if you go into a big battle, you lose a lot, but then you just build the most of it again.
Right after. It's incredibly strong. Yeah. Anything else about how to win?
Nope. It's just a really, really strong race.
It is.
It's unique since the space dog can fly. So it's also an interesting race to play, even though it's so very strong. I think it's a funny race. I'm not always fascinated by the really strong races because it's too easy. It's a strong word, but it's hard to play a bad game with Clan of Saar and with those strong races. But Clan of Saar is for me also an interesting race to play. So even though it's so very strong, it's also a fun race to play. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. All right, I think that was it.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe the video. And I hope I'll both see you in the next one, and also you, of course. Thanks for being here. See you.
See you.